supervisor, a very nice, roly-poly Scottish lady from Edinburgh called Libby Barr. She was in her mid-50s or something and quite prudish. And why she took this job, God only knows. But so I'd be in the middle of one of these rants, and just for the hell of it, I'd stop and say, "Line!" Silence. And I'd say, "Line, Libby!" She'd go, "You knew very well what the line is." "What is the fucking line?" "You fucking cunt!" "Thank you, Libby!" I swear to God, that is true. Now, she was on another film with Michael Caine and Jude Law, the remake of Sleuth, and she heard Michael Caine telling Jude Law, he goes, "You know, Malcolm McDowell, he was on this film," and she goes, "I was the one!" And he went, "Oh, never mind, now we understand." Yes, so that's Gangster #1, terrific film. And it was Paul Bettany's first major role, and he's a very good actor, as you know, and he's gone on to do some good things, so very good film, very fond of it. Yes, any more? Yes, the gentleman with the blue.
Yes, what was going through your mind when you were playing in Clockwork Orange? Like, did it affect your mentality?
You've sat here and heard my conversation, and that's the best you can do.
Well,
surely thou jokest. Surely thou dost.
The reason why I asked because of Anthony Hopkins, and you went through a lot when he was playing Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs. A rumor I heard is, I don't know if it's true, that he had to go through Baker acting after he played his character.
The truth is, as Hannibal Lecter, he did have to go out and commit a couple of murders. Just to get the feeling of being a serial killer. Are you some kind of fucking moron? Do you think this is acting? What is going through my mind? Do you know we're going? What's for lunch? Smoke and mirrors. It is my job to make you believe that I'm somebody else. And the more that I can layer it and put colors to it and give it a sense of humor, the better. That's all. It's not brain surgery. Yes. The gentleman, please stand up. Let's see you. This kind of fun stuff. Could you tell me what is in that codpiece? Is there anything at all?
Oh.
Sorry?
Hey, Mark. Malcolm McDowell killed. I'm in the middle of filming this.
All right. That was good. I'll give you that.
Now, I got another 20 minutes left, and I gotta wait for the Elvira photo.
Okay. Besides the apple pie.
I already took the photo. I'm just waiting for it to be printed.
Yeah, you have some very interesting facial expressions. What did you conceive? Was that
Be there as soon as I can, okay?
Assistance, or did you have your own input into
Alright,
for those expressions? Like after the fisto, so to speak.
A very interesting question. What the fuck are you talking about? It's just acting. I don't know what expressions I had because I was sort of playing a cheeky chap who was a bit of a lad and suddenly heard a bar and a half of Ludwig van and went into a little spasm. Simple as that. And of course it was a great part. It was heavily set. And of course working with the man, Stan, the man, unusual. It was quite a director. Kubrick, you know, was really one of the greatest directors that film has ever known. What's amazing about Kubrick is, to be serious for a moment, and only a moment, but he's the most remarkable the director that's ever been, in my book, and I'll tell you why. Because he really took on a film a subject in every conceivable genre of film. He did horror films, science fiction, romantic comedies, anti-war films. So when I worked with him, he'd done Paths of Glory, Spartacus, then he went to do Lolita, Doctor Strangelove, which is a masterpiece, 2001, another masterpiece, and little old Clockwork Orange. And I'm glad to say that Clockwork Orange is still as poignant today as it was then. And it really must be, because I remember 3 years ago they showed the movie, a brand new print, beautiful print, at the Egyptian Theatre in Hollywood. It's absolutely one of the best projections I've ever seen of the film, and I was amazed at how amazing Kubrick's work was. And I think it took me 30 years of getting, not living immediately the film. I hadn't seen it for 20 odd years, so I came to it sort of as a spectator would, not as Alex. And I was watching it without remembering every single moment of shooting the movie. And so, anyway, at the end of the movie, the place cleared out, I went to the bathroom in the back of the theatre, and I came out, this young kid passed me, and he goes, "Hey, man, Clockwork, right?" I'm thinking, we got a real intellectual here. I go, "Yes, that's right." He goes, "Which part?" I said, "Well, the guy." He goes, "The old guy?" Oh, that was a tremendous compliment. Rather backhanded, but a tremendous compliment to the performance and to the film. So.
I just gotta know, what do you consider to be the biggest piece of crap you've been in?
Wouldn't you like to know? I've done so many, it's really hard to pick one. There is one or two that, but to be honest with you, I don't even see a lot of the films that I do anymore, because I'm always somewhere else, and I live out of town, and I don't do premieres, I'm past all that. So unless they actually force me to sit down and watch something, I'm usually on to the next. I never look back. So when people go, "What's your favorite part that you've done?" it's always the next one. And, there were a few really rubbishy films there, but, so what? They paid the mortgage, and that's really, as I said, working actor. And so that's it. Sometimes you get the script that's great with a great director, and strangely enough, the film is really rather bad. So you never quite know. You read something and go, "Oh my God, how did they get the money for this?" I say this to my wife over the breakfast table all the time. How did they surely can't be making this crap. And what am I going to do with this hideous part? But my God, how much are they offering? Well, now I gotta start tap dancing, because it's easy being good in a Stanley Kubrick film. You try to be good in the fifth incarnation of 9.5 Weeks. That's a tester for the talent. I'll tell you, yes. Yes, sir. You.
Me?
Yeah, with the silly hat. No, No, I like the hat actually.
Thank
The
you.
cheese cutter, if ever I saw one.
Exactly.
Thank
You
you.
know, one of the films no one ever talks about anymore. It's one of my favorites. It really is Time After Time.
Yes, next question. What about it?
Well, I just wanted
Wanted to ask, there it is, besides meeting your former wife in that film, was there anything that was really memorable in that movie that you recall back today favorably?
Meeting my former wife. I mean, if there's one thing I remember about that movie, is falling in love in San Francisco, the result being 2 children, who are now in their mid-20s and who are delightful, Lily and Charlie McDowell, and you know, we're still friends. Mary actually moved back into our hometown with her new husband, Ted Danson, and so they're now neighbors, and we're all friends. There we are. I mean, you know, we have children with somebody you're always attached at the hip somehow. Yes, Danny, what?
Mr. McDowell, as a fellow Englishman who grew up in the 60s and 70s,
Yes!
if an
I
unlucky
didn't know
man...
you were my darling, but anyway. Do carry on. Chair's a bit umpty, isn't it? Boy, really ask any good. Yes!
If an unlucky man is one of my favourite movies of all time, I
Thank
think they're 2 of the most significant movies of the late 60s and early 70s.
Thank you.
And I gather from the audience reaction when you mentioned Unlucky Man earlier that most people don't really know these
No,
movies.
that's right.
My question for you, because Lindsay Anderson was a huge influence on me as a young director, what would you say would be your favourite anecdote about working with Lindsay?
Lindsay Anderson, and I suppose that nobody knows who this is. So, your homework for tonight is go find out who Lindsay Anderson is. Lindsay Anderson, as my friend over here, my fellow Brit, has said, was a genius. And I don't use that word lightly. He really was an amazing, incredible man. In fact, he was so amazing that, and these films, If, The Lucky Man, and Britannia Hospital are the 3 that I did with him. It's called the trilogy. They had sort of become out of favour, even in England, and so I was asked by the Edinburgh Festival if I'd go there and talk about it at a retrospective of his work, and so I decided, I said to them, I'll do more than that. I'll come to Edinburgh and I'll do a show about Lindsay Anderson, which was filmed. It's called Never Apologize. You may want to catch it, because it talks about how those films came into being and all the rest of it. And here's an anecdote. He was an extraordinary man, quite short, rotund, incredibly piercing, intelligent eyes. He had a very sardonic English sense of humor. Very cutting. He could be a curmudgeon. He could be lacerating in his kind of really cruel wits. But of course I found that very funny, you know, because I'm weird, you know. Anyway, but I loved him. I was a young actor and he gave me my first great part in a great film. And it was a great film. And it changed my life from here, over there. And Kubrick saw that film and cast me as Alex in Clockwork Orange. My favorite anecdote about Lindsay is that he was invited by the theatre critics. He was a theatre director as well as a film director, to go to a birthday party that the theatre critics were holding at the Ivy restaurant in London, because it was to celebrate the 90th birthday of a playwright that Lindsay happened to be doing a play of his. And they asked, his name was Ben Travis, he was 90 years old. This was the occasion of his 90th birthday, and so they asked him, and they asked both of them, what would they like on their tombstone? And Ben Travis got up and said, and now the fun begins. I thought that was rather good. Lindsay Anderson stood up Now, this is a room of critics that he loathed and despised. He looked around the room at every one of them, and he said, surrounded by fucking idiots.